Alright, welcome to another installment of games I've enjoyed recently. For those who are new, and it's a decent amount thanks to the Warframe video, I do these videos every now and then when I've been playing a bunch of games and just kind of want to smoosh my thoughts on all of them into one video, just get them out there and talk about what I've been playing. It's an interesting lineup this time round, but first I just wanted to say thank you for those who have watched and commented on the Warframe video. I truly do love discussing and talking about the games I make videos on in the comments. Forget the actual video itself, that can be left on the wayside. I just enjoy the discussions. I just enjoy talking to people in the comments. It truly does fulfill me quite a lot. So thank you so much for the love, and let's dive in. We start off strong with Balatro, and of course we start off with Balatro. Of course this was going to be on the list. I've put over 110 hours into it now, completed my collection, and will now attempt the 100%. Although, the requirements are kind of fucked, but either way, this game controlled my life for a couple weeks straight, and I loved it. It's a poker roguelike that has very little to do with actual poker, and as deck builders go, it's definitely heavier on the RNG side of things, but that's okay when the runs are much shorter than other games, and restarting is as simple as holding R. That said, the big balance patch, which makes this game infinitely better, in my opinion, just came out. So if you're looking for an excuse to lose hours of your life to this game, then now is for sure the best time to try it. Now, very quickly moving on to another deck builder in Slay the Spire. I don't know if my experience I have with games like Slay the Spire is the same as other people's, but I would be very curious to know. Whenever I get my hands on a game like this, one that requires thought and attention and has a learning curve to overcome, I end up just playing it way too fast and thinking about the game in the completely wrong way. Like, my brain is hardwired to think fast and act fast, right? So even on a turn that I have a very clear lethal, my brain makes a move before I'm even given a chance to realize I had lethal, and it's super frustrating, because at the start of every turn, if I had just stopped and thought about all the variables, I'd be able to do a full 180 and actually win or contest for wins consistently. Well, recently I've started to approach Slay the Spire differently. I'm thinking more, I'm learning more, I'm watching more Slay the Spire content. I've completely turned it around and have barged through multiple ascension levels on each character in a short time. As deck builders go, shit, as video games go, it's clear to me as I learn more and more about this game just how special and complex Slay the Spire really is. I've loved being challenged, and one day, hopefully, I'll reach Ascension 20. Pivoting now to the complete antithesis of deck builders, a genre that doesn't really require much thought at all in Survivorlikes. Look, Survivorlikes have been a staple in my Steam library ever since I first played Vampire Survivors, but recently I thought I'd go back and really dive into Vampire Survivors, mainly because I know how deep the game's well of content actually goes, and I've been pleasantly surprised with how accessible that well of content is and how much freedom the game gives you to unlock all of that content. I've come back to it because I'm yearning for another game to 100%, but I'm slowly realizing that at the rate Poncle releases content for this game, I don't actually know if I'll ever truly 100% Vampire Survivors, but the interest remains regardless. With all that said, as I've been playing it more and more, it makes total sense to me now why no one's been able to put up any fight towards this iconic video game. Speaking of games trying to put up a fight, Nordic Ashes, Survivors of Ragnarok. I've dipped my toe into this one, and I don't want to make any absolute statements at the moment, but Nordic Ashes feels like the Gunfire Reborn of the Survivor-like genre. That is a very tough reference to understand, potentially, if you've not played Gunfire. But essentially what it means is that I despise the movement and general mechanical feel of the game, but progression, both in-game and out, and the concepts that the game employs, like the ascension of weapons, that stuff has me hooked. That stuff is genuinely cool and executed well within Nordic Ashes. This game did just release into 1.0, so maybe this is like a short-term friends with benefits kind of relationship that will go away as soon as Halls of Torment or Death Must Die or, you know, another game like that enters 1.0. But at the moment, it's got some cool concepts that have kept me engaged, a ton of variety in maps and characters, and a bunch of achievements to keep that dopamine topped up nicely. Deep Rock Survivors. This one, the opposite of Nordic Ashes. The progression within Deep Rock Survivors is great, don't get me wrong, and of course it's early access. More progression systems both in and out of game will most likely be added, as the difficulty needs to be extended as well, as you have players that just kind of triumph over the game and you need to give them more of a challenge. But right now, the fundamentals of Deep Rock Galactic Survivors is what really drags me in. The sound design, general kind of feel of the game, the aesthetic is obviously quite impressive, and I've loved playing it for the amount of time that I have. It's early in early access, access, but again, feels fundamentally sound in both its survival-like concepts and its dedication to the Deep Rock universe. In fact, I think it fits nice and snug within the Deep Rock universe. From what I've played, the things I usually value in this genre, effects, sound design, meaningful progression, etc., etc., it's nailing all of them, and I can't wait to see what late game additions the game will have once it leaves early access. You know, with this, Deep Rock Galactic and then Deep Rock Rogue Core coming out, it's got me thinking about what other crossovers into different genres would work for the Deep Rock universe. Certainly something to think about. You know, probably a few months ago now, I tweeted about making a RoboQuest review. I had planned it to be a complete review, so I'd need to 100% the game, but now I'm realizing that for RoboQuests, that doesn't really matter as much. And for most of what I'm going to praise, well, it's got a lot more to do with the core gameplay rather than the minutiae and specifics of this game. So hopefully I can get that one out. I'm going away soon, so maybe it's a possibility, maybe not, who knows. All I know is that RoboQuest is fucking sick. Fast-paced FPS roguelite action, and I've been loving it recently. I even played a bit with a mate, and the co-op works great as well. I've spoken about this one many times before, but the polish on the movement and gunplay is an FPS aficionado's wet dream, and I highly recommend you try it if it sounds or looks like you could be interested. I'm still playing DayZ too. Namask drags me back in every now and then. You know, you got to give it a run or two just to see if there's any success to be had. Oftentimes the answer is no, but you know, you give it a shot anyway, right? DayZ can be like that sometimes, drags you in and then shuts you down. But this next game is one that has been quite special so far. Outer Wilds. Of course, no spoilers, just trailers playing in the background and whatever other B-roll I can find that doesn't have any spoilers, because I think this game is that special. If I gave you B-roll that I had taken myself, it would feel disingenuous, and it would feel like I'm spoiling this game. I haven't finished it yet, but fuck me. I'm realizing pretty quickly how innovative and generational this game truly is. I'm fully investing myself into it every time I play, and that's definitely the best way to go about playing a game like this if you haven't. No distractions, just you and the game. Trust me. But that's it. Survivorlikes, Deckbuilders, and a few other ones too. Like I said, I'm going away for a while, so while I've always been lazy with uploads, now I have an excuse to be. But I do plan to go hard when I get back, because my internet should be upgraded soon enough, so I can start the stream back up. And this is a big deal to me, because I had a 6-month or so stint a couple years back where I streamed like 12 hours a day, and I absolutely loved every second of it. So honestly, I cannot wait to return, but this time with consistent YouTube content to back it up. So Twitch link is in the description if you want to catch me live when that does happen, and hopefully it does happen soon. I've heard horror stories of this kind of upgrade going wrong, but I'm just praying that that doesn't happen to me, because I'd love to get back to streaming consistently. Either way, I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.